2008, the Labour Court issued a recommendation saying that the state should provide a pension scheme for the CE Supervisors, and despite many false dawns over the last 11 years, they've now come to the conclusion that they've been left with no option but to take industrial action in pursuit of their claim.
I was a CE Supervisor for a total of about 23 years and I retired in September 2017. On Friday my wages were €755 and the following Friday I was reduced to a contributory old age pension of €235. To say that you're finding that difficult to live with is an understatement, but we would be hopeful that if we can move on from today and keep this issue current, that we might get some resolution.
We know that representation from the unions met with the Minister in August, and I think the feeling was that they would meet again in September, but to date that meeting hasn't taken place. We know that when the Labour Court recommendation was issued, the recession hit that year, and obviously finances were very different then, but things are different now, and it's time to get back around the table, start talking about it, and hopefully bring this to some kind of conclusion.
My name is Carmel Keogh.
I'm Hilary O'Kelly.
My name's Gareth Wise.
Community employment schemes are schemes that target the long-term unemployed, offering a gentle introduction to employment behaviours and patterns.
They assist the long-term unemployed to get off their live register and come on working for 19.5 hours a week within the community.
Officially they are employment activation programmes, but I would see them much more as community activation programmes. So for the individuals, it increases their self-esteem, their preparedness for work, their social standing, their self-confidence. So a labour activation programme is one small part of what community employment is.
So there's a whole multiplicity of different projects that our members are involved in. They play a huge role within the community, a vital role, and I'm sure that the general public will appreciate the role that they do provide.
It does an awful lot. You'd be surprised actually how much you can get done from this vantage point in the town. You can look down at where everybody is. So there's the Lafcadio Heron Gardens. We actually built that from scratch and it's now an extremely successful garden down there. There's the tourist office, which was only opened when we actually managed to get staff down. Tramore Community Radio, the Coast Guard Cultural Centre, there's club music, the St. Vincent de Paul charity shop, Fórsa, Tidy Towns, and finally we have the two people here in the office that are helping me.
We do the upkeep and maintenance of GA pitches, then the dressing rooms, gyms, the maintenance and caretaking of community halls in the villages and themselves in relation to tidy towns. We do litter control, sweeping the streets, hanging baskets, tubs, painting, grass cutting and trimming. We also have a community tennis club in Ballyhooly, the Nanonega Centre, which is a heritage centre, and the CE office that we do all the admin and running of the scheme.
I have 23 participants here on this project and they look after the grounds, the pitch and puck grounds, the football pitches, the dressing rooms. We laundry the jerseys and we cater for the teams also. I think the most important aspect of the scheme is confidence building. It's helping people develop the social skills that they need for both work and for finding friendship. It's helping them understand that they're not alone and they can share experiences.
The Japanese Gardens, well, as I say to all the scheme participants, it is an ad for you and your job and what you do. So people go down to the gardens, ask them what's this or what's that. The lads grow a few inches when they're asked what it's about. So they're more than delighted to have a chat and be appreciated and realise at this stage in their life, middle-aged men, they're now able to converse knowledgeably with members of the public. So there's wonderful conversations going on down there.
I feel that when you see people with their chin to chest syndrome, that I call it, that when you're talking to them their heads are down and they won't look at you, and then you can see the chin eventually and their head raising up over the time that you get to know them, and by the end of the finish at the scheme they're standing tall and head high, and it's just a great achievement. It's a great achievement for them, and I feel very proud of the work that I do put in and the work that they do especially.